Hello. Welcome back. It is Sunday. It is afternoon, and that means it's time for Morgan's laziest Sunday afternoon productivity sprints. So today is not July. No more camp. Camp is over. But I didn't actually finish my edits, and my story's not out to beta readers yet. So I still got a lot on my plate today. With me today, I have the one, the only Doc Coleman. Say hi to the nice people.
Hello, nice people.
When will that get old?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think
Gracie and Alan did that for how many years?
I think it's firmly established. I'm easily amused,
Mhm.
and I don't get rid of sick of things quickly.
Yep. So
your stuff is off to the editor. What are you working on? Are you reaching out to cover artists? Are you prepping your marketing campaign? I don't know.
Well, as you said last week, I hired an editor, and my stuff is off to the editor. But in the process of choosing an editor, I had 3 editors look at the first 1,000 words of my first chapter and give me comments on those. And it's like,
Right.
why put comments to waste? So today I'm going to see about taking those comments and sticking them into my manuscript and figuring out what I'm going to do with them.
Oh, nice.
And as you said, I've got a cover editor under cover
Ooh.
artist. There we go. I've got a cover artist under contract already.
Yes, because you hadn't last time we talked. So.
Oh no, cover artist. I've got a 3-book contract.
Oh, okay.
And this is going to be the 2nd book.
Nice.
So it's the same person that did the cover for the Perils of Prague.
Okay.
It's going to be doing the Kindred of Kali.
Sure.
But he's got a little bit more time to work with because I got to finish the words first before he can finish up the cover. Because we got to know how many pages in order for him to do the right size for the cover for the paper.
Oh, things I don't know. I thought
Yeah.
My cat just ran into the French door, the glass French door.
As long as he ran into it and not through it.
Yeah, no, it was like scramble on the linoleum. And then across the carpet onto the bottom of the cat tree, and then smack. And then he went around the door into the sunroom.
Oh.
So that was an exciting. And now he's just sitting there. I don't know what just happened.
This is evidence that your glass is really clean because the cat thought it was just open air. Surprise.
Sure, we'll go with that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was
you put little etching lines to remind the cat there's something there, right? But I've got a
grid. It's got a grid.
It's got a grid.
Oh dear. Inside.
Yeah, but he's small enough to go through the pane if there wasn't glass there.
Sure, we'll go with that.
How smart do you think your cat really is? Anywho, I already have a 3-book contract with my cover artist, so I was able to lock in labor prices as to when we signed the contract.
Nice.
And need to get him working on book 2. We've got some ideas. I may end up digging up some inspirational material for him, but he's got more time because I've got at least another round of edits before I have something packaged up to say, this is how big the book is and what we need to do.
Right. Okay.
So I've got those things. I've got groceries on the way, which I'm sure is no surprise to anyone.
Who's been around? Newcomers might be surprised.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've got for right now. I kind of took some time off last week to rest and recover because I've been driving things a bit hard, both here and in my day job, and my body just started complaining and needed some time to rest. But
good job listening. so many people don't.
Yeah, always a good idea to listen to your body. You do better if you take periodic rests than if you just try to power through everything.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm done talking for a little.
Okay. So I would like to say I have not like been slacking. I just didn't get as much done this week as I'd hoped. I just looked and I have edited 47 pages since last Sunday. So like almost 50 pages. That's
Not
not forward progress. Just, not going to finish the manuscript at this pace. I still have over 100 pages to do. I'm on page 217 out of about 350, and I think there's a couple chapters I want to add and expand. So,
well, you're still making clear progress. You're just not doing it overnight.
Right, exactly. So it's not ridiculous progress. It's just, not quite there yet, but I got time. And I think I'm ready to do this. So with that, maybe it's time to do a sprint. What do you say?
A sprint? Who would do a sprint? This is a
On a
lazy
productivity stream? So
anyway, I've talked about what I'm doing. You've talked about what you're doing.
Yeah.
We've got viewers out there. Viewers, we want to know what you're doing. So put it in the comments.
We know it's August. We know it's hot. We know a lot of people are on vacation or whatnot.
This is why we're hiding inside in the air conditioning instead of sitting outside in the patio.
Yeah. So I got lunch yesterday with a bunch of family, and one of the things is my sister wasn't quite comfortable yet for indoor seating.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily we were by a river, so there was some breeze, but it was disgusting outside yesterday, even in the shade.
Yeah, it's just like my birthday was end of July, and it was like, I'd like to go out to a restaurant. I don't feel comfortable sitting inside a restaurant, which means patio seating in summer in DC.
Maybe just celebrate your half birthday.
Yeah,
your quarter birthday.
We'll time skip this a bit.
Kelly also gave you a shout out. I did before we went on stream. Yes, we are appreciating Doc's amazing haircut. He's looking all spiffy.
I am sad to report that I am no longer an object of interest to women who like to run their hands through men's long hair.
I mean, it's long enough to still run fingers through.
It is, but it's not the same, not exactly the same experience as for the women that really love long hair. But
yeah, now
the ones that love short hair, you have a new option here. So
right, exactly. So Kelly is just joining, and he's introducing a character in a self-promo post. So that's pretty awesome.
Okay.
And people who are lurking, we love lurkers. We love people who chat with us. Do your thing. We're not, pressuring you to join the chat just because we're online. So we just hope that our sprints are helpful, and if they're not, that you enjoy listening to us banter.
Yeah. But we want to make this a safe place for you to join if you feel like
Yeah. So okay, let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom. And we're done with that sprint. Let me just find the right tab, which, oh, there it is. Oh,
Let's find where we are.
right? So
Ugh.
I had to make so many expressions because I needed to make facial expressions, right facial expressions, and I can't do that without making them.
Hmm.
You have that problem?
You cannot write unless you make the facial expressions.
I can't write. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely. It doesn't happen all the time, but there are definitely some concepts that you just can't express unless you're making the right facial expression.
Pretty much.
Yep.
But I got 1,868 words edited.
Nice. I got some comments transferred into my manuscript, and my shopper has completed my grocery shopping, mostly because the store doesn't have about half the things I need.
Oh dear, that's
Yep.
a little fraud.
So
A little fraud.
I'm going to have to place an order with a different store.
I'm sorry to hear that. So hopping over to the comments, Claude and Patrick are here. Hello and welcome. Claude is doing some reading at the moment, and Patrick says, regarding the facial expressions, were any of them you nodding noddingly? No, that's a horrible phrase. I try not to use the same word and adjective combination on the same page, if at all possible, much less the same sentence.
That sounds disturbingly similar to the phrase about the woman who goes bouncing boobily down the stairs.
Right? So, yeah. Kelly successfully did a little tweak of his website, so that's good.
Let's all stay hydrated.
Right? Here in Virginia, it's pushing 90 degrees, and the humidity is disgusting. Disgusting percent. So, I do have some company for this sprint. You might see right behind me, someone has cooshed down on the back of the couch.
Yeah, I've got a couch full of cat here too. Just let's see.
Hi, is it nap o'clock?
Not quite, but it's going to be nap o'clock soon.
Clearly. So, okay. Oh no, Claude says it's not a great temperature in Quebec either, and almost lost electricity this afternoon.
That would be bad.
Yeah. I might die and or go somewhere that has power.
I hear libraries are good for that.
Me too. My sister actually works at my local library, and it's been closed for renovations, but it reopens in I think just over a month and a week. So it'll be opening up soon. So that'll be nice. Oh, I don't know anything else. Oh, I reshared a thing on Facebook and Twitter about the little joys. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So let me just read it aloud. It's from Serotonin Suggestion. An author I love just tweeted about how big joy and small joy are the same, and how she was just as content the other night eating chocolate and cuddling her dog as she was on her big trip to New York. And honestly, I think that's it. This morning, I was listening to an audiobook while baking shortbread in my joggers, and I realized I really didn't care what big things happened in my future as long as I could keep baking and reading at the weekend. And maybe that is the kind of bar we have to set to guard ourselves against disappointment. Just appreciate and cherish the mundane stuff and see everything else as bonus. And the author thread was found. She was replying to a thread that starts off with unpopular opinion. I don't think your life has to have a purpose or you a grand ambition. I think it's okay to just wander through life finding interesting things until you die. And I, for one, think that's brilliant. So let me. Whoop. Oh, okay. I would have to switch tabs. But anyway, I thought it was a beautiful statement and I really enjoyed it. So what are your favorite little joys?
Kitties.
Right?
Yeah.
90% of the time.
Yeah. Not when they're coming up and yelling at you, but when they just come up and curl up next to you.
I get so many headbutts when I came in the house today.
Mhm.
Like the head nuzzly ones, not like, you're a jerk face.
Mm-hmm.
I like chocolate. I like when I go in the kitchen and find exactly what I feel like eating.
Nice.
I love a book when you get that moment where it just feels like everything's happening just as it should.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when a story comes together.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That
Yeah.
feeling when you rewrite something you wrote and you're like, whoa, I actually like it reads with the thought and feeling that I wanted to invoke.
Say I like that bit when you're reading beta reader comments and they start putting comments about this section made me cry or when the feels are coming through and it's like yes I've achieved my objective. uh
I like it when the weather is nice outside. We had a really long spring with some good weather, not just rainy this year.
mhm.
I like it when I wake up feeling refreshed.
Mm. Yeah, that doesn't happen often enough. You have to appreciate that when it does happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So, popping into the comments, Kelly has been hanging out at libraries enjoying their AC. And Claude says, sometimes it's just taking the time to realize that we can appreciate these moments. But too often we're pursuing performance because, you can't achieve the great things if you don't work at them.
Mhm.
So there is a balance, I think, if you want to work on things bigger than a day, bigger than a moment.
Well, you've got to appreciate the small victories as much as the big ones,
Right.
because the small victories are the things that give you the energy to do the big things.
Yeah. Yeah. And small joys are just as fulfilling as big ones.
Mhm.
Is what that went over. And I think contentment is underrated. People are looking for things that blow them away with excitement and joy. And I think being happy in your place, in your space, and yourself, is really underrated.
I'm not sure that I would say that contentment is overrated, but I would say that it is a temporary destination because contentment is what allows you to rest up and regain your strength. But that's also the launching point for your next challenge.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that you've got so many things stowed away, you now can take on something else.
Right. But I think the quote also, if you want to do more, you can. But so many people turn their hobbies into a side hustle and lose the joy of them. And sometimes
Mhm.
the point is just to enjoy them and the process and not so much focus on the results and what other people think. So Kelly says that instant gratification is the problem.
Well, we're a bunch of writers, so instant gratification doesn't enter into it. None of this is fast.
Hey. I mean, when I hit open mic night, there's some instant gratification there. But that's more from the reading of what I have spent time and effort on
Yeah,
writing.
Yeah,
So
you're not just getting up there and reading random people's stuff. You're writing your own stuff and then reading.
yeah, but I think it's also, I mean, you and I obviously don't mind the camera so much, but for a
Mhm.
lot of people, getting up there in front of people and sharing your stuff is exposing and, terrifying. And I found it that way at first. And,
Mhm.
I think the more time I spend on something that I want to share, the more scared I am for sharing it because I've invested that much more of myself in it.
Well,
And
and especially if it started off as a piece that was very personal, that touched
yeah,
you a lot.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I know some people never quite get the hang of the whole idea that people cannot like my work. That doesn't mean they don't like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because this work doesn't resonate with that person doesn't mean I'm a bad writer or a bad person or
Right.
anything like
And there are some reviewers that don't understand that either. They talk
that.
about how it's not what they were looking for, but they're not actually, they're giving it 1-star reviews, even though it's just not a genre that's meant for them.
Yeah, and it's those are the ones that bother you because it's like
So you hate
you're
everything I wrote about in the blurb and you read it and then you hated it because of everything I mentioned in the blurb.
yeah, and so you looked at this story and you said, this is not for me, but maybe if I pick it up and I read it, it will magically become everything that I really want in my mind that I never communicated to the author in any way. Uh,
And even if you did communicate it to the author as a reader, unless you're an editor, and not every story is for every editor in the first place. I mean, it's just, that's not the story I wanted to tell. Go read something else.
the other way of looking at that is some people get into reviewing
Mhm.
because they like to be angry and they like to hate things. And it's like,
Have you
okay,
seen
you've gotten that out of your system. Now let's get it off of my page and not contaminate the rest of the things.
there's a song from I think a TikTok guy who just dropped an album, and one of the songs is "I've spent enough time hating stuff," and then he starts talking about all the things he likes, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Yes, that's what we need more of the
Yeah.
attitude of go after what you enjoy and stop worrying about as long as." I'm not saying ignore the things that need being pushed back against because I
Oh, yeah.
sure as bleep get, riled up. But I try not to spend most of my time thinking and focusing on what I don't agree with. And I spend more time focusing on what I do agree with and where I want to spend my time and energy.
Yeah.
So,
But it's one of these things that occurred to me after trying to deal with a friend who was like always shocked at everything. And then I realized it's like she just enjoys being shocked and being able to react like that. Okay. Now I don't have to care about it because she's going to do it anyway.
it doesn't matter how carefully I approach it or
Right.
how,
She
yeah,
she will she will find something to take mock offense at because she likes being mock offended. And it's like this is not a real problem.
yeah. So Claude says they cleaned 90% of their Facebook groups because of the hate and
Mhm.
are only keeping positive ones. And that's what I like about the AuthorTube community. It's very positive. Definitely, definitely.
Mhm.
There are, people who get into tiffs and stuff like that. We're all human, but I think for the most part, we're here to support each other and to, learn and grow and connect.
Mhm.
And as long as you're bringing positive energy into that, as long as you're not trying to take over or tell everybody that your way is right or whatever, then yeah, let people do their thing. And if it's not for you, say good for you. I'm going to go over here now.
Mhm.
So I saw a couple things on Facebook this week and I typed out replies and then I hit delete and moved on. So, and sometimes that's all you can do, really. especially if it's not someone you know or care about who just wandered into your chat comments. I don't find them worth the energy. I'll argue with friends and family, but strangers, I might drop a one liner and then move on. Kelly asks, what's wrong with world domination? Nothing, but I don't want people coming into the author tuber world and trying to tell us what's what and how we should do our things. Because what's the biggest rule of writing? Do what works for you. Would you agree with that, Doc?
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's like my answer to what's wrong with world domination is it's all the paperwork. It's an administrative nightmare trying to run the entire world. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're dominating the whole world, when do you have time for your own pursuits and relaxation? It's, it might be fun for 6 months, but then you have to keep up with it or find really good administrators. And, those are really, the interview process for that is just a nightmare.
And then if you do have a bunch of really good administrators who are running the world smoothly for you, are you dominating the world or are they?
Really? Maybe it's a collective. You're giving guidance, but it's still a lot of meetings and paperwork.
Yeah. And it's like, I still love the whole idea of the mad scientist who achieves world domination, runs the world for a couple years, decides that it was much more of a headache than it was worth, and then goes and erases 2 years worth of memories from the entire world and retires just because it's not my problem anymore.
Right. So, okay. Well, it is still Sunday. I still have some chapters to get through. In fact, I'm on the last page of this chapter and hoping to get into that next one. So let's do another sprint.
Yep, because I need to place another grocery order to another store for all the groceries they didn't have.
Shake fist. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. And I might need a snack. 3, 2, 1, go. It's okay, my love. It's okay. Good. Okay. Sorry. I was on the last page again. I was like, I'm not doing it again. If I hadn't had to finish the previous chapter, I wouldn't have had to make a wait this time. So
This
anyway,
sprint went into overtime.
less than a minute. I think that was less than a minute. So how was your sprint?
Well, I have now placed a second grocery order to a different store, and we'll see how that goes. It looks like
Excellent.
I'm going to be pulling in groceries until late at night tonight, but
Oh dear.
sometimes that's how it goes.
Yep. I edited over 1,800 words, and I cut about 100, 150 of them from the character that I want to trim words from. So everybody else can grow, just not this character, because she started off as the main character, and with 3 point of view characters, she had 40,000 words in an 86,000 word story. So she's got more than her fair share.
You will have no growth. Well, okay, you will have growth, but you will have no more words.
Well, plus this was a conversation with one of the other characters, point of view characters. Yeah. So it kind of gave both of them, some screen time. But anyway, chugging along, not sad. So how was your sprint? Oh, right, the groceries.
I got groceries ordered. I actually got some words transferred from the editor's notes into the manuscript. My wife came down and raided the kitchen, and then went back upstairs.
I tried to raid the kitchen, and then I remembered I was meeting a friend for dinner after the sprint or stream. So maybe I shouldn't snack so close to dinner.
Snack lightly.
Yeah. So popping into the comments, just Eva showed up. Hello, Eva. Eva is caught up to where they left off and added 165 words. They're zero drafting book 2 of a middle grade series. They're trying to get out of their head. They're on chapter 10 out of 14 of the outline. Nice. That's some good progress. So she says it's a short draft with short chapters, and I'm probably within 4K of finishing. Wow. Yeah. Definitely could wrap that up this week if you're a super fast writer today, but that's not how I roll.
Yeah, and provided you don't go into like chapters 15 and 16 of an outline with 14 chapters, as some of us have been known to do.
These things happen,
Yeah.
I have split so many more chapters than this story started off with.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've added like 3 chapters, but the original draft had, let's see, Oh, I can't actually count this way. Sorry. Okay. It would take more math. Each of the characters had their own chapter 1.
Well, yeah.
But not everybody was in each chapter.
Yeah.
So that's maybe a little more math than I'm going to do while you sit here in silence.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. Yeah, I know. After my first book, which had so many short chapters, writing the second one I was real surprised that like I wrote to the target instead of coming up short and having to pad. Well, not pad, but add more description.
I have written a sequel once, and it's still in rough draft form, but it was the only time I've ever managed a nano and a half in a month.
Nice.
I found my sequel wrote faster than anything else I've ever written. Probably because I love the world building, but by having the characters and world established, I knew them already. So there was less pausing and thinking. So.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Eva is a fast writer. She says, I'd like to finish today. When I'm done with the zero draft, I go back over it fairly quickly, and it will definitely become more chapters. Book 1 for her went from 12 to 22 chapters. And
Oh, yeah.
tonight, chapter 10 and 11 are the last chapters that aren't just one or two scenes. So
Yeah, honestly, I can't tell you what happened with my first book because it's like I wasn't counting the chapters until I got it done.
right, yeah, I get that. So let's see. Kelly, staying true to our theme, is talking about snacks. There were more caramel pieces than jalapeno cheddar pieces in the popcorn mix, but it's staving off the sleepiness. And Eva says for the chapter books, she expects them to end around the 25 to 30K mark. So they're very short. They sound closer to chapter books than true middle grade books, but I could be off for lower middle grade. I think lower middle grade might be about there. So it's been a while since I've looked at the word count for that. Oh, okay. Goosebumps are about the 23K mark. So that makes sense. Okay.
And if that's a reference for the market you're aiming for, that's good. Yeah, I quickly found out it's like my market was the 100,000 word novel. So
yeah. So I definitely need to grow my story. It's a fantasy with multiple points of view, and it's only 85K right now, which 80,000 is on the lower end for adult fantasy and with multiple characters. I've heard agents think that if you're on the lower end, you're not giving all of the characters full justice. So I want to hit closer to, I think, 90K at least. I don't want to pad it,
yeah,
I don't want to pad it, but I do want to make sure that the secondary point of view characters are fully realized and three-dimensional and not just there to support the main point of view character.
Yeah, I'm with you. You definitely don't want to pad it, but I have to admit it kind of gets me. It's like, oh, it's that length. You must have these flaws that I haven't actually seen because I haven't looked at any of your book.
Yeah. So I knew that going in. I knew that my alien was underdeveloped, and I've definitely leaned into her, her own motivations and stuff like that. So I think I need to rework the query for this. I'm not ready to query, but I find queries really help me focus on what the plot and the character and the stakes are for each of the characters. So, when you actually send out a multiple point of view query, you might have one, maybe two of the characters, probably not all three. But for drafting purposes, there's no reason I can't write longer and make sure that that's what I'm focusing the story on. So, Kelly says 80K is not giving equal time to characters. No. Right now I have 40K on the main character, 20K on the alien, and 25 on the cousin. And the alien started off at 12,000, which clearly did not explore her own motivations and had a very colonialist. Her plot line reflected how she interacted with the human, which, wasn't fair to her as a character. But as an alien, there was a lot more world building that needed to come out before I could really understand what the character needed. So
but that's still part of my whole thing about it's like you haven't even looked at it and already you're making these decisions about it.
I mean, but it's a standard, and I definitely see. They don't say it always happens. They're saying these are the tendencies they tend to see when the story is that length. And I look at it myself and I'm like, yes, I could do better. So
these are rules of thumb, and it just bothers me that they're making decisions off of rules of thumb.
Nobody's told me this. I've just read this in the past, and that's what they say.
Well, but they wouldn't be saying it if people weren't making decisions off of it, because for a lot of times agents and publishers and acquisition editors have got so much stuff coming over their desks that they need a way to weed stuff out quickly.
Yeah. And I think some of it is, they have noticed this tendency in the past, and therefore they make that assumption based on previous evidence. So
I got to go set out boxes for my groceries. So
okay, I'm going to pop into the comments. So let's see. Kelly got a chapter done earlier this afternoon for a new project and is making steady progress with editing the WIP too. WIP, for those of you who are new, stands for work in progress. And Eva said her story started off as an idea of a cross between Babysitter's Club and Goosebumps. I'm not sure that would be an accurate description, though. There is an overarching ghost story mystery, and then one ghost story mystery per book. Some creepy moments, but not scary at all, really. More of the mystery solving than the scary ghost sort of things. So, yeah, that sounds right on for that age group. As long as everybody gets a little creeped out here and there, I think that should be a lot of fun for the kids. So, welcome back, Doc.
well, I got them out there in time, but the delivery person went the wrong way.
Oh dear. So, Kelly said I would just as well give a supporting or secondary character their own novel. I've definitely had that thought in the past, but as I said, I barely have 85,000 words right now, and for an adult manuscript in fantasy, that's on the short end. So splitting it would not actually fix my problem. I usually write long, but in this case, I haven't. So I think it might have been because I went in with such a strong mental concept of what plot beats I wanted to hit, especially since the first time I wrote this, it went off the rails. So I think that really helped me hone where I wanted the story to go, but it may have made it a little short. Although the ending is a bit rushed, so I definitely have room to expand there. So speaking of, maybe it's time for another sprint.
Yeah, probably a good one. As in about a minute, I should have groceries and have to drag them in. And
Excellent.
that will not be conducive to further conversation.
Right. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, boom. And we're back. Apparently, when Catechus walked across the screen, he took away the timer. I have a quite restless kitty right now.
Yeah, I was wondering about that when I came back, and there was no timer.
Well, my hand is delicious, and Catechus has lost his patience with me. Ow, gentle. No. So how was your sprint?
Frustrating.
Yeah, I got in my groceries and found out that the person had substituted things without telling me.
Are they trained?
I don't know. I'm
Disappointed and frustrated?
I am furious. I want these people to
Fix
never
it.
get work again. No, this is bad enough. I mean, I order one product. They don't tell me they're doing a substitution. They substitute another product, and I find out about it when it gets delivered. When they deliver it without following my instructions. I put boxes out so that I can carry the stuff in. I say, put it in the boxes. This person dropped it on my doorstep.
So you couldn't open your door.
So I had difficulty opening my door. I could only bring in one bag at a time. And it's
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just
Dealing with the cat biting, Morgan. Have you tried sticking your finger down its throat?
Oh yes. Oh yes. He just thinks
Okay.
that's me playing rougher.
Oh, okay. That usually stopped ours.
that's just a delightfully fun game for him, huh?
It's a delightfully fun game. Or like he'll be like, "Oh, you did that with your finger. Let me go for your elbow." Or smack you in the face. So I do the stare down with the water spray bottle, and we have a discussion, and yeah. So
Or you start doing what Mama Cat would do. Smack back.
yes, I have tried that, and that has taught him that when I do something he doesn't like, he gets on the keyboard and smacks me in the face with his claws, and I don't want that game of escalation.
Yeah.
Because I have eyeballs.
Okay. Usually that works on cats.
We like you protecting your eyeballs.
I've also tried pinning him by grabbing him at the nape. No. The cat pheromones have been helping a lot, but I was gone most of the weekend and he just didn't get enough playtime. And then I came in, gave him 20 minutes of love, and ignored him. So I've talked to my vet about it, about his play aggression, and yeah, we're working on it.
Okay.
It is a work in progress. So 80% love bug, 10% plays too rough, 10% vindictive little brat.
Okay.
In other words, cat.
Exactly. But yeah, I have more than the average number of cat scratches at any given moment. But they are typically done in play as rough play rather than acting out or being hostile. So
yeah,
I know what the trigger is. It's not random.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, let's pop into the comments real quick. Kelly said, yeah, let's sprint. I need to wake up. For a moment, he thought Catechus was going to take over for me because he jumped into the chair when I stood up for a minute. Allie asked, what have I done to anger my feline overlord? That's how he plays. And Allie says that cats are supposed to be the less needy ones. Perhaps if he had a play partner or someone other than me to keep him company and entertained, but he does not. And I have some moderate cat allergies that make it unlikely that I will be picking up another cat. Although my vet has started to entertain the concept.
Of you picking up another cat?
Yeah.
I am very allergic to cats, and we have had between 2 or 3. You do develop a tolerance, but it takes a while.
Oh yeah. I'm fine with Catechus, but additional cats might stress the system a little.
Yeah.
So, Kelly says cats are supposed to be easier, except when hungry or wanting affection. So I'm sorry that the timer got moved when Catechus walked across the screen. I thought he turned off my computer entirely, so I came back in very relieved that it was just the screen. Eva got 526 words, snaps, got the chapter wrapped up, and is going to take a dinner break and then come back and keep going. I will probably not be here, but I might pop back on later because I do still want to get some progress done. Allie needs more tea and then is going to write a sex scene for Allie's romance novel. Kelly joins you with fuming what is wrong with grocery stores of late. So, yeah. So that was a fun sprint. That was maybe not what I'd intended. I wanted to get a few more pages in, but Catechus was having none of that. So, what you gonna do? Do we want to do a quick 5-minute sprint now that Catechus has wandered off?
I'm sorry. I'm
You're fried and frustrated. I get it.
I want to hurt people, and not in a fun way.
So you want to hurt them with your brain, like glare at them and watch them catch on fire.
Yeah. That would be useful.
So maybe they have no air conditioning in their car, and they are suffering one of the 7 circles of hell as we speak.
Yeah, odds of someone actually doing food delivery while that's going on are low. But
maybe that's all they could find, and they're stuck doing food delivery.
Yeah, this is also true. Well, if that's the only job you can get, at least do it well.
In this heat, maybe they've lost all impetus to do anything productive. And they're just phoning it in until they can go home because it's ridiculous out there.
Well,
but it's also their job.
I paused on the stream because I had to go put boxes out because I put boxes out for my grocery delivers with the instructions, put groceries in boxes.
Most of them have no problem with this.
I have a sign. I have printed a sign on actual sign thing where you can order signs from that says, if your package is under 50 pounds, put it on the table next to the door. Because if you put it on my door stoop, there's a low spot where the puddle pools.
And it gets soaked with stuff, yeah.
And Amazon's pretty good, but no, it depends on the driver. It depends on the driver. 50% of the delivery people put it on the table and 50% just drop it on the ground where the water pools. And I'm like, there is a sign. It is clear. It is obvious. It's right over the table. It says, put your stuff on this table. It's by the door. It's there for things to go on top of.
But it's like, I just have to wonder, it's like, what is going through their minds when they're walking up with stuff? And it's like, oh, look, there are boxes here on the patio. I will put stuff on the porch for no reason because I was not instructed to do this.
Yeah. It's like there is a table. Why would you put it on the floor when there is a table?
There's a table.
So anyway, Kelly says he's looking for a sidekick. Would you like to apply to help him hurt people. Steel-toed boots required. Hey, I mean, safety first. Steel-toe.
Oh, catechist could do that, right? you kick them and catechist will chew on them, right?
And scratch and bite. Here's his leash. But he doesn't usually, as I say, fight aggressively. It's usually just irritated and wants to play, and it's usually play aggression and not spiteful aggression, usually. So, oh, I did not finish 3, but I did get well into my 3rd chapter. Maybe I was hoping to get 10 done, but I forgot that I had dinner plans tonight. So maybe I should just hope for 6 before bed.
When are your dinner plans?
At 7.
Okay. Yeah, no, we probably don't have time for another sprint.
Yeah, we don't have time for another sprint, unfortunately. So,
this has been a crazy beginning to August.
Yep. Are you doing any? Oh, next Sunday we should be here. We may be here together live, and full of pizza.
That's the
I'm
plan.
having an end of summer reading for adults. It's not book it, but I'm still ordering personal pan pizzas from Pizza Hut party with some of my local book fan friends. So pizza.
Yep. I don't know if the party's going well enough. We'll make them read in the background during the sprints. I don't know.
yeah, it could happen. I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe I'll kick people out. Maybe I won't. But we should be here in some capacity next Sunday. So did you want to tell the nice people who you are and where they can find you?
All right. I am Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've been amused by my grocery shopping antics, you will find my stuff down in the links below. And if you're watching this on Twitch or somebody's embedded it on some page elsewhere, you can find my stuff by searching on Doc Coleman Steampunk in your favorite search engine, and that should help you find my webpage at doccoleman.com. It should also allow you to find my Amazon author page, and you can read previews of my stuff there and decide, is it for you or someone you love?
Dun, dun, dun. And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. Apparently the person who is owned by Catechist, and I blog, vlog, and podcast writing tips from the pros and my own writerly musings on the Writing Tips and Writerly Musings podcast. This week you can find Done to Death. When you're reading a story or a character dies, can you tell if it's just the writer trying to manipulate your emotions or if it's good storytelling? Notes from a panel I attended with Patrick Rothfuss, Veronica Roth, Sue Sokol, Amy Ogden, and Daryl Gregory. They did their best to make sure that we knew that every death should count. And over on the YouTube and the blog, which is morganhazelwood.com, I did Getting Started with Audiobook Narration, where they answer the how do you get into it? How do you find a narrator? And the big question, should you narrate your own stuff? You can check those out wherever Morgan Hazelwood is, and have a great week. I hopefully should be back next week and we'll do this whole thing again. Maybe I'll be ready for beta readers by next week. Could happen. Nice. Right?
You get beta readers on site? No.
Thank you all for coming and have a great week. It was good to see you all and, eat some snacks.